Okay, hi, good day everyone. So today we'll be doing January 2022, number 39 straight to 60. Now these questions, some of them include some what you call this thing, statistics questions. Then we have our graphs, we have trigs, and we have relations and functions, right? That is what this last section entails. So if we look at this, they said item 39 and 40 refers to the following frequency distribution, which shows the average mass in kilograms of for a group of children in a school. So they told you the mass and the frequency. The upper limit of the modals class is, first off, the modal class would be, we are looking for the area that has the most, 40, right? They want the upper limit, that is going to be the one that is the highest, that is 60. So 60 is our upper limit for the modal class. This comes in two parts. Modal class, which is the one that is most popular, which would be 40, right? And then the upper limit for that is 60. Right, the next one, how many children have a mass greater than 40 kilograms? So greater than 40 would be this one, and this one. This is the number of children. So we have 24, that is 41 to 50. They say greater than 40, so it would not be 35. Plus 40 plus 18. So let's do this, plus 40 plus 18, right? Let's add this up. 8 and 4 is 12. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 and 4 is 12. Why did I put 8 here? It is 12, right? And 2 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1 is 8. So my answer would be D. So the mass of children that is greater than 40 kilograms would be 24 plus 40 plus 18. When you add that up, you're going to get 82, which is your answer, right? Item 41 refers to the following table, which shows the frequency of scores by a student on a test. The modal score is, so we're looking for the student that has the most, that is 12. We have 12 students making a score of 8. So if 12 students is making a score of 8, then your modal score is 8. They didn't ask the modal number of students, they asked the modal score. So you look at the number of children that gets each score, and we have 12 person getting 8 scores, right? So that is how we got A as our answer. Number 42. Item 42 refers to the following diagram of a cumulative frequency curve, which shows the marks obtained by 200 students on a test, right? The median mark by the 200 students, we know, right, median is n divided by 2, which is 200 divided by 2, which is equals to 100. So we're looking for 100. This is 40, this is 80. Between 80 and 120, 100 would be somewhere around here, right? And then you do not have to read this off line for line where we had to find the what you call it, how much spaces it would be. We are usually, for this kind of question, approximation. So if you look at the value here, it is something that is greater than at least 35, right? Something greater than 35, but less than 40, right? So it is not A, is not B. The most logical answer would be C. It would not be 100 either, because the greatest, in maths, the greatest score is 60. So that is how you got C. Number 43 refers to the following bar graph, which shows the ages of children who took a part in the survey. This question, I don't know how much times we would do this question, but the answer is how many children took part in the survey. It is 15, right, the total, but we can add it. We have for 4 was 3, then when you reach 4, you have, sorry, this is 4, this is 2, this is 5, and this is 1. When you add up all these the number of children, right, you'll get 15. Right, let's look at number 44. 600 write an examination. The probability of a randomly selected students failing the examination is 1/5. How many students to pass? Now we know that failing is equals to 1/5. So 1/5 multiplied by 600 is equals to 120, right? So we have 120 students failing. So they ask you how much pass would be a total number of students that took the exam minus how many pass, which would be 480, right? So the answer would be C, and that is how you get this answer, right? Guys, give me 1 second. Number 45. Which of the following equations represents a linear equation or linear function? When you hear the linear function, just think of a straight line. And when you hear the word straight line, they want the equation that represents a straight line. It has to be in the form y is equals to mx plus c, if you guys remember this. Right now, if you see x by y is equals to 4, no. This has x squared. Anything with squared is no. So b and d is out. So through a process of elimination, you could have gotten c. Or even if you made y the subject in c, you'll see y is equals to 2x minus 3, which is in the form of y is equals to mx plus c when you make y the subject. Right? So your answer for 45 is C. Number 46. A set of ordered pairs below represents a relation that is a function. Which of the following points, when added to a set, would form a relation that is not a function? Now, we know in relations and functions, we have x is your relation and 7, you have your domain and your range, right? Now, guys, they told you which of the following points, when added to a set, would form a relation that is not a function. So you are adding your domain, you're adding something to your domain to get this. Now, we already have a 2 here, so the only thing that is changing, guys, is my y values, because y is the result of adding something, adding whatever it may be, adding something to it. So if you have 10 plus something, you're going to get 4. So that means if we look at this, right, the only thing that has to change is my y values. We already have a 2 in this function, so therefore A would be our answer for that is not a function. So we're going to redo number 46. They said the set of ordered pairs below represents a relation that is a function, right? So we have in a relation and function, you have your domain and you have your range, right? Your range is a result of putting your x value in your function, f of x. F of x is a function, right? So basically they're saying that to get your range, let's read the second part. Which of the following points, when added to the set, would form a relation that is not a function? So basically, you are going to have your domain must only appear once. So let's say if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, you must only get one answer. Let's say in this case, your domain is, right? Your domain is 2 minus 4, 10. Right? And when you apply 2 to the function, you're getting 7. If you apply 1 to the minus 4 to the function, you're getting 6. If applying 10 to the function, you'll get 4. Now, if you look at this, they're telling you if you apply 2 to a function, you're getting 8. But if we look above, you already see if we apply 2 to the same function, you're getting 7. There's no way that we will get 2 different answers. So because 2 is already in our domain or is already an x value, right? you cannot get a different y value. So therefore, the one that is, if you add these, that is not a function, would be a. 47. Number 47. Number 47 refers to the following arrow diagram. 47, the arrow diagram above describes the relation. So we're going from x to y. They're saying y is more than x. Let's look at this. Is y more than x? No. Y is not more than x. Y is 2, 3, 4, and x is this. So no. Y is a multiple of x. X is a multiple of, no, let's see, y is a multiple of x. We connected 2 and 8. Is 2 a multiple of 8? Yes. What about 3? Is 3 a multiple of 8? Yes. 2 is also a multiple of 10 and 4 is also a multiple of 8. So this could be your answer. So you are connecting your y's and looking at 8. You're going to ask yourself, right, is 2 a multiple of 8? Meaning if you use 2, 2 multiplied by what a number, would it give you 8? It would. What about 4? If you multiply 4 by any number, by a number, would you get 8? Yes. What about we're going back to 2 again. Sorry, not 2, 3. If we multiply 3 by any number, would we get 10? Yes. So B could be our answer. Let's check C and D to just make 4. X is a factor of Y. Right? Is 8 a factor of the same X? 8 a factor of 2? No. 2 factors, right? What about 9? Is 9 a factor of 3? No. If they said Y is a factor of X, then it would have been correct. But 8 is not a factor of 2, right? What about D? X is a multiple of Y, meaning if you multiply these numbers, right, by a certain amount, would you get 2? No. So C and D is out, so B is your answer. Y is a multiple of X, meaning if you multiply Y by any number, you'll get your X values, which is correct, right? Now they said, what is the gradient of a straight line? 2y is equals to minus 3x minus 8. Now we know gradient in any kind of straight line, it is the uniform y is equals to mx plus c, where your coefficient of x is your gradient. So basically, when they give you this equation here, you want to make y the subject. So you're going to carry across 2. Right now, if you carry across multiply by 2, everything is going to turn to divide by 2. So it's going to be y is equals to minus 3x minus 8 all divided by 2, which when we separate, this is minus 3x over 2 minus 8 over 2. This is what y is equals to. We want the coefficient of x. What is in front of x? Minus 3 over 2. So the answer would be C. C is your answer for number 48. Right? Number 49. If h of x is equals to 3x minus 5 all over 5, what is h of minus 6? Meaning x is equals to minus 6, right? So wherever we see x in our h of x equation, you're going to put minus 6. That is 3 by minus 6 minus 5 all divided by 5. 3 by minus 6 is 6 3s are 18. That's minus 18 minus 5 all divided by 5. Now 18 divided by 5, sorry, minus 18 minus, yeah, minus 18 minus 5 would give you 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Right, so this question was not supposed to be 3x minus 5, it's 3x minus 2. Alright, so now, let's just erase this. Let's check it back now. We have 3 by minus 6 is minus 18 minus 2 is minus 18 minus 2 is minus 20. Minus 20 divided by 5 is equal to minus 4. So my answer here would be E. Let's look at number 50. The range of f of x is minus x squared. So f of x is equal to minus x squared. For the domain just means the x values, right? The x values is this. So they're telling you to find what is f, sorry, yeah. So they want to know what's the results of putting minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. So if we put f of minus 2, this will be minus by minus 2 all squared. This is going to be 2 by 2 is 4, so it's minus 4. So you're looking for one that have minus 4. So A is out, right? Then you're going to put f of minus 1. This is minus 1 all squared, right? That would be 1 ones are 1, but we have minus in front of this. 1 by minus 1 by minus 1 is positive 1, but it's a positive 1 by this negative 1. So we're looking for something that has negative 1. So that's B, C, D, right? Then, I ran out of space. Let me go on the side. We're going to go f of 0, right? That is well, 0. Basically, that answer is supposed to be 0. So we're looking for one that has 0. So C is out. Hold on. Minus 0 by minus. Right? We're looking for something that has 0 in it. So that's how we crossed out C. Then we are going to put f of 1. Right, f of 1. That is going to be minus by 1 squared, right? That is minus 1. So it has no positive 1. So D cannot be in it. So my answer would be B. So what you're going to do is put these values and whichever answer that you get for putting these x values in your equation, that is what you're going to do. So through a process of elimination, right, you get, when you put f of x, sorry, when you put 1, positive 1 in f of x, right, you get negative 1. Some of these have positive 1. So therefore, there's no way that we could get positive 1 for you in this equation. So the answer would be B. Right? Let's look at 51. Right? Number 51. A line is parallel to the line 2x minus 5y minus 8 is equals to 0. What is the gradient of line L? Now, we know that if your lines are parallel, right? Parallel lines have the same gradient. So if they told you the equation of the line for your line 1, you just find the gradient of that line, right? And once you find the gradient of that line, slow down please. If you find the gradient of that line, right, then you find the gradient of the line that is parallel to it. So to find the gradient of that line, you have to put it in the form y is equals to mx plus c. Basically, we're making y the subject of the formula, and then the coefficient of x would give you your gradient. So if we look at this, we have 2x minus 5y minus 8 is equals to 0. We want positive y, so we're going to carry across this negative 5y to turn to positive 5y. So 2x minus 8 is equal to 5y. Right? Then we want y by itself, so you're going to carry across, multiply by 5. That is going to turn to divide by 5. Let's shift this up so I could get more space. Right? So that is going to be y is equals to 2x minus 8 all divided by 5. So that's y is equals to 2x over 5. And then we have minus 8 over 5. If we look at the number that is in front of x, the number that's in front of x is what? 2 over 5. Positive 2 over 5. So we know C would be your answer. Right? Number 52. The values of x at the point where y is equals to 4x minus x squared intersects y is equals to 0 are. So therefore, they're telling you what when y is equals to 0, what is this? So basically, they're telling you to solve for x minus x squared is equals to 0. When you have something like this, guys, we basically are going to factorize. So what does 4x and minus x squared have in common? They have x in common. So we're going to factorize out that x, right? And once you factorize out that x, you're going to get x, open bracket, x by what would give you 4x? X by 4, right? And then x by what would give you minus x squared? X by minus x, right? Close bracket. And this is equals to 0. And remember when we had to solve factorize quadratic equations like this, we let each part be equal to 0. So you're going to get your first bracket, which is x, is equals to 0, and then you make your second bracket also be equals to 0. So we have 4 minus x is equals to 0. We want to make x the subject. We carry across negative x to make it positive x. So x is equals to 4. So my two values at which my values of x for the point at which y is equals to 4x minus x intersects the y intersects at y is equals to 0 is x is equals to 0 and x is equals to 4. So that would be A. So number 53. Item 53 refers to the following diagram which shows a translation. This is a translation. It goes from A to B and A prime to B prime, right? In the diagram, the translation by which A, B is mapped onto A1, B1 is represented by, right, let's see. So we're going from A to B, so 2, 5, plus, we don't know what is x and y, that is my translation, right, is equals to 5, 7. So let's find out what is x, right? So 2 plus x is equals to 5. We can clearly see that x is equals to 3, right? X is equals to 3. And then 5 plus y is equals to 7. We can clearly see that y is equals to 2. Right, so the answer is we have 3 on top and 2 at the bottom. Let's check to see if it is the same for A prime to B prime. Right, so 4 plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. And then 6 plus 2 is 8. So we know that our translation maps A to B and A prime to B prime would be 3, 2. Right? 54. Item 54 refers to the following transversal diagrams of which PQ and QS are parallel. So these two lines are parallel. In the diagram, PQ and RS are parallel. Which of the following best describes the relationship between P and Q? Now, if we remember this, I did this a little bit, right? And I tell you guys, if we are seeing a Z, if we look at this, we're seeing a Z, right? And once you're seeing the Z, the internal angles of our Z are equal. So the relationship between P and Q is P is equal to Q. So you look for, if you see something like this and you see a Z, right? Know that the internal points in your Z are equal, right? And that's how you get number 54. Let's look at number 55. A ship sailed 8 kilometers due east from A to B, right? So if we know this is north, south, and then west and east, right? Is north, south, and then west and then east. North. Yeah, north, south, west, east, right? So when they're telling you that this arrow above is north, so they're saying that to B, it sailed 6 kilometers due to north. Sorry, let's read this. A ship sailed 8 kilometers due to the east, so they're going east, right? From A to B. So from A to B, they have to go in a eastward direction, right? And then due north to C. So back up to C. For how many kilometers? The ship sailed 8 kilometers north to east. So we're looking from A to B has to be 8. Right? So A to B is 8. Right? And then from B to C, you're going back up. Then they're going 6 kilometers due to C. From B to C, you're going 6 kilometers. So this here is your original, your N, right? Where your N is at. Right? So if we look at this, let me just open this so you guys can see all. Right? They're telling you the ship sailed 8 kilometers due to east. So you're looking for those that had 8 kilometers going to the east direction. That is B, C, and D. So A is not it because if we look at the direction of east, you see 6 kilometers. So A is not your answer. Right? Then they said it sailed 8 kilometers due from A to B and then sailed 6 kilometers due north to C. So then we're going from B to C, you have 6 kilometers in the northwards direction. D is not your answer going because this is going downwards, north is going up. So D is not your answer. The same thing goes for B. This here is not it. We have to go from A to B and then B to C. So B is not your answer. So through a process of elimination, you would have gotten C. Right? So C is your answer for this question. Now, if you look at this, item 56 refers to the following diagram of a circle. If 0 is the center of the circle and angle Y is basically 2 times the angle of this angle on top here. Right? So it would be 2 times, what is the angle on top here? 50. And that is just a fact, right? If they ask, if you see a shape like this, right? The angle on top here is 2 times, the angle at the bottom here, which is Y, is twice the angle on top here. So that's 2 by 50. So the answer would be D, which is 100, right? All right, let's look at item 57. Item 57 refers to the following diagram, which shows the graph of a line y is equal to x. If the line y is equal to x when it is rotated anti-clockwise, now we know clockwise is this direction, so anti-clockwise would be the opposite direction. Okay, let's read it. Let's erase that, right? If when it is rotated anti-clockwise through 0 in a 90 degrees angle, right? So you could have, if you want, guys, you can use your protractor, but you don't really need to, right? To me, right, if you rotate it, say going in this direction here, so if you're going in that direction, the new line is going to be this line here. Hold on. This is going to be a line here. Hold on, let me just fix it. So this is a new line here. Right, and this is something that you must... So they said it went to a 90 degrees angle in an anti-clockwise direction. That means the new line is here. This line that I drew. And this line, equation of the line is y is equals to minus x. Right? It is not x is equals to y. X is equals to y is the same line here. Right? Or you could have done a process of elimination. X is equals to 0. That is on your y-axis, right? So the y-axis is where x is equals to 0, and y is equals to 0 is on your is on your x-axis, right? So through a process of elimination, right, this black line that I drew, x is equals to y, that is not it, because x is equals to y is this original line that we have. Then x is equals to 0 is on our y-axis. This is on our y-axis. Let me write that y-axis, right? So it is not C. And then D, y is equal to 0. That is on our x-axis. So we know D is not your answer. So through a process of elimination, if you did not know y is equals to minus x will be your answer for this. Let's look at 58. In a triangle ABC, angle A is equals to x degrees, angle B is equal to 2x, and angle C. Now, we know if we were to draw a triangle here, right? They said, let's say this is A, this is x, this is 2x. We want to know what is this angle. We're calling this angle C. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. Right? A triangle, how many degrees does a triangle have? A triangle is 180 degrees. Now to find our triangle C, we add these two, x plus 2x, so x plus 2x plus C would give you 180. So we want to find out what is angle C. So x plus 2x is 3x plus C is equals to 180. If we had to make C the subject, right, you carry across plus 3x, that is going to turn to minus 3x. So C is equals to 180 minus 3x, which is equals to D. So my answer for this, number 58, is D. Right, number 59. Item 59 refers to the following diagram, which shows that the angle of a depression of a point X from Z is 35. Now, I told you guys, look for the Z's in this kind of the letter Z, right? So if you look at this here, this is Z. You can see a Z here. And I told you guys the internal angles are always the same, right? So these internal angles, so this angle here will also be 35 degrees, right? So once you know that, right, then they ask you if x is 12 meters from y, so xy is 12 meters, then the height of yz in meters is. So they basically are trying to find out. Now, if we're using this angle 35, right, I told you guys when we were doing algebra, this is the SOHCAHTOA method, SOHCAHTOA, where O is opposite, H is hypotenuse, and A is adjacent. And I told you your hypotenuse is the side opposite the 90 degrees angle. If we know that, then this side, x to z, would be a hypotenuse, right? And your adjacent and opposite is changes depending on the angle is given. So your opposite is now, if we're looking at degrees, your opposite is the side opposite the angle given, right? So the side that is opposite this 35 degrees is ZY. So this now becomes my opposite. And my adjacent, which is A, my adjacent is the side that has your 90 degrees and your angle in question, the angle given. That is not, so you see the side here, X, Y, this is your adjacent here. So now we know that what side is your opposite. If we are talking about 35 degrees, right? So X, ZY would become your opposite and XY would become your adjacent, right? They're telling you to find out your opposite. Right? So if we look at this, we're going to look at sine, cosine, and tangent. Which one has the formula with A and O? Not sine and not cosine. So tan. So tan 35, because that is how much degrees here, is equal to your opposite, which is YZ, all over your adjacent. In this case is 12. Right? So we want YZ the subject because they told you to find out what is YZ. If we make YZ the subject, you carry this across, you get 12 tan 35. Carry across, divide by, alternate to multiply is equals to YZ. You look to see that? Do you see 12 tan 35? Yes. So C is your answer. 40. number 60. So item 60 says it refers to the following right angle triangle. So as soon as you see right angle triangle, you think sine, cosine, tangent. You also think of Pythagoras theorem, right? So let's see, what trigonometric ratio is equals to 4 over 8? Now, they're telling you it is 4 over 8. Now, what I would do is use the answers, because to go through, what is, if it is x, if we're talking about angle x, then 4 would now become your opposite. But if they're talking about angle y, then 4 becomes the adjacent. So it's best to just use the answers. If they said sine x, where we're talking about angle x, that would be sine is so opposite over hypotenuse. What is opposite over hypotenuse? The opposite of the opposite of x is 4. So sine x is equals to 4 over your hypotenuse does not change. It is just the side that is opposite to 90 degrees, which is 8. So we see that sine x is actually 4 over 8, so your answer is E. Right? And that is how I would do this question instead of going through if we're talking about angle x, like that. I would just use the answers to answer this question, right? And that is the end of January 2022, numbers 39 to 60.